So we're not going to be going very far today because I have only about a quarter tank left on my van, and fuel is pretty expensive right now, and I don't really feel like getting any, to be honest. But look at this atmosphere. Gotta get out here, gotta do something with this, even if it's just along this road somewhere. I mean, those views, you just can't beat them. So I might actually park, walk down a little bit, take some pictures along this river here, right in the canyon, because the fog has seemed to just settle into this canyon right here. We had pretty similar conditions last night, and I wanted to come out and make a video, but well, by the end of that video, I looked like the ghost of Christmas yet to come. So I scratched that idea, decided to come out this morning instead, the next morning, and thankfully, we have very similar conditions. Actually, it might even be thicker fog this time than last night. Super cool. I did like a few of the photos that I took out there yesterday. Definitely be sharing those right now. You'll probably see them actually. I don't have to pay anything because I already have a Parks Pass. So Christmas was a couple days away, and if you were lucky enough to get a little extra cash, either in the form of a Christmas gift or maybe a work bonus, you might be kind of considering investing some of that into your photography. Let's say that you didn't get that much, you weren't getting as much as you were hoping for, and so you can't really put a ton into it. Fear not. I've created a list of gear that I recommend purchasing if you haven't already, that will help you enjoy your time out there, specifically outdoor photography, nature photography. And this list of stuff is not necessarily only photography gear. It's all kinds of stuff that I think is often overlooked but super beneficial to you as an outdoor photographer. So that's what we're going to be talking about today, is some of the gear that has specifically helped me enjoy my time out there doing photography and why I specifically recommend it. And the list is much longer than what I'm about to share in this video. I've actually put together an Amazon like storefront or list idea, I think is what it's called. I forget the exact terminology, but it's an affiliate list on my Amazon affiliate store, so that, you know, if you want to purchase there, it supports me just a little bit, which I greatly appreciate. But yeah, let's get into it now that we're on a location that didn't take all of my fuel. So the first thing that I'm going to recommend is actually stuff that I'm wearing on my person right now, and that is a nice pair of pants that'll last you as you're hiking around in the backcountry, and a nice pair of wool socks. So a good pair of pants, good pair of socks, good pair of boots, nice warm hat. These types of things are often overlooked, but now might be a perfect time to upgrade using that little extra spending cash you got. In addition to anything you might wear on your person, I'd also recommend getting yourself some kind of notebook, some kind of pocket notebook, and a nice pen. This has become an invaluable addition to my kit. I use it nearly every day to jot down notes, to come up with ideas for these videos that I make, and just daily things that I want to remember, whether that's recipes in the kitchen or grocery lists at the store. But a good pocket notebook is so nice to have. Along with that, you might also consider getting yourself like a local hiking guidebook or some kind of reference book for photography. As cool as YouTube is and as cool as online resources are, nothing really beats the power of the written word, and especially since a lot of publications from a long time ago are not really available in the digital space. So get yourself a nice book that you can use to learn more about your local area, get out there and hike more of the trails that you might not have been aware of, And also, if they're a photography reference book, get inspiration from other photographers and other artists who've been doing this far longer than you have. See, like I said, I have all my ideas for this video written right here in my little notebook. So if you really want to invest in your photography specifically, there are some other inexpensive things that you might think about getting, such as lens cleaners, sensor cleaners, microfiber towels. I'm constantly using these things to try to keep my gear working as perfectly as possible. Nothing's worse than opening up your kit, seeing a big fingerprint right in the center of your front element on your lens. You can also get one of these like little air rocket thingies. Super handy to get some stubborn dust off of your sensor if you notice any big pieces and the little like sensor vibrator thing isn't working properly, the camera function. This right here has saved my butt many times when I'm out there taking pictures and notice I got a big dust clinging to my sensor. So something to upkeep your kit, make sure it's working perfectly. Might also be a good opportunity to invest in some new software. You know, if you aren't already using Adobe's Creative Cloud and you want to try Photoshop or Lightroom or any of the other programs, now might be a good time to set aside some of that Christmas money towards like the subscription or Capture One. You know, both of them are fantastic. It just depends on what you want to edit with. There's also random little trinkets that you might not consider purchasing because they don't seem like big items, but things like an L bracket. This isn't necessary to take photos, and it might seem like a big investment for something so simple. But if you're doing a lot of switching back and forth between like the vertical and horizontal orientation and your tripod head, and you're having to constantly twist it back and forth, something like this is going to save you a lot of time, make it very easy. And a universal one is nice because it doesn't matter what camera you're shooting with, you can just switch back and forth. Or extension tubes. These are really fun little trinkets. Again, these are not necessary to take pictures, but the benefit of having extension tubes, and there's nothing in there, there's just a little tube that extends the lens away from the sensor. What this does is it shrinks down your minimum focus distance, effectively turning whatever lens you're using into a makeshift macro lens. So you're able to focus closer on a subject and get a much shallower depth of field. So they're pretty fun to mess around with, but again, little things like this, and they're not super expensive either, which is nice. If you haven't already gotten yourself a neck strap, you know, something a little bit nicer than just the one that came with your camera, it might be a good idea to invest in something like that. I don't use mine all that much because I also have one of those clips that goes on your backpack strap, but I do tend to use it quite a bit, especially when I'm walking around the city. I'll often have a camera around my neck so that I don't have to keep pulling it in and out of my bag. The faster I can be at responding to situations, the more likely I'm going to be to get in that shot. So you don't have to necessarily get something like the Peak design with the clips, but you know, I like it because I switch back and forth between different cameras, so it makes it very, very convenient. The last thing you might consider is some kind of filter. See? Lens wipes. Things to keep your gear working really well. Notice a giant fingerprint on this filter. So a filter is really nice to have, especially if you don't have one yet. Now, if you're only going to get one, I would recommend getting a circular polarizing filter. What this does is it helps cut down some of the glare. If you're shooting towards water, glossy trees, pretty much anything where there's any kind of shine, just like a pair of sunglasses is going to help cut that out. It's going to increase some of the saturation. It's going to increase the contrast a little bit, and it's going to make it just pop a little bit more. Now get yourself a polarizer for the largest lens that you have, and then some step-up rings for fitting it to all your other lenses. Now those are the main things I wanted to bring up in this video. These things have helped me substantially in my enjoyment in going out into the backcountry taking pictures. They've made my life a lot easier, and they'll make yours easier as well. I'll put a link in the description below to all the other items, and remember, they're going to be affiliate links through Amazon, so if you do purchase, it's going to give me a little kickback. Not much, a couple cents maybe, but it won't charge you anything extra, so it's a win-win situation, right? I don't want to spend too much time talking about gear. I'd rather go out there and take some pictures, so let's go ahead and pack up, and you and me, let's go take some pictures. love this view right here that I have over my shoulder. It's just beautiful, and cliff edge, the river, everything about it's super cool, but it is cold, the wind blowing off of that, plus the moisture in the air. Wow, it is freezing cold. This is where I should have a neck strap or something to hang my camera. I found a photo that I think I'm gonna really like, and that's of these buoys and these rocks right here. There's a lot of detail, and I love the way the river is channeling through here. So I'm gonna set up probably with the 50 again and try to get this right here. I also brought my 24 prime. Oh, cool. It's a bald eagle. Oh, never mind. Now I gotta see that. Gosh. That's really cool. Too bad I am not set up for wildlife photography. Whoops. I feel like I have to invest in those photography gloves that cover up the fingertips, because, I mean, these are nice, but beyond the fact of, like, my fingertips are freezing off, they also leave a lot of lint, like little fibers on everything, like the lenses and the camera bodies. Oh, gloves come off so I can work with these things. All right, I'm set up with a composition that I like. I want quite a bit of this in focus. I've set my aperture to f11, which brings my shutter speed to, I mean, I could go as high as 1/6. Get some good texture, nice focus all the way through. 2-second timer. That way we can make sure any shake from my hand is not a problem. Okay. Now we're going to try it with a polarizer, because I was just talking about how important a polarizer can be to your image. Now, I don't own a single polarizer. I do have a filter system that includes a polarizer, but because it requires all of this, I rarely pull it out unless I really think the photo needs it. And that goes on. Then I can pull my polarizer out. Stick that in the frame. And finally, I've got a polarizer. Just to show you exactly what I'm talking about, I'm going to hit the record button on this camera. It's now taking video instead of photo. Watch what happens when I rotate the polarizer. See how that water just darkens? The glare is just taken right off of the water. So right about there is where I want it. And we should be getting a slightly slow shutter speed with that 1/6, so it should be perfect. Let's go ahead and turn that off. Switch things back. Because the polarizer takes off about a 1/3 stop of light, I had to slow it down to 1/4 of a second. And let's go ahead and take this photo. There we go. I saw this shed, I don't know what it is, on the walk over here, and I knew on the way back I was going to want to take a picture of it. Even though my hands are so cold, it's freezing. I know if I don't take a picture of this, I'm going to be disappointed in myself that I wasn't willing to suck it up and take a picture. Okay, the 50. Trying to find a good placement of all of the elements right here. I actually like getting pretty close to the ground and taking that last one because I have a pretty shallow depth of field on this one. All of the grass in the foreground is out of focus, and it really leads you in to the green shed. So yeah, not too bad. Be cool if there was more fog on this side of the river. Right now it's mostly on the far side, because then we could really like give it a moody atmosphere. Well, I hope you all had a wonderful holiday celebration. I got to spend it with family, friends, loved ones, and that you were able to get out there, relax in the outdoors. Hopefully it wasn't as bitter cold as it is for me right now, but even so, it's still a wonderful time. Let me know what you think of my list of suggested gear or any of the photos that you saw in this video. I am going to call it a day. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.